When I start a new sourdough starter, I always use organic wholemeal flour. In this case I used a spelt flour. A organic wholemeal is more likely to contain the bacteria and the wild yeast that we need. Scale of 40 grams of flour and 40 grams of water, and give it a good mix until all the flour has been hydrated. Now cover your jar with a lid very loosely and set it aside for 1 to 3 days. After a day or so you should start to see some bubbles forming on the top of the sourdough. And if your sourdough starts to separate a little bit and there's some brown water on top, that is completely normal. Your sourdough should now smell slightly acidic and maybe a little bit of beer and wheat. At this stage we will feed the sourdough again, and we continue to use wholemeal in this startup phase. This time we use 60 grams of wholemeal flour and 60 grams of water. Give that a good mix and cover it loosely and put it back for 1 to 3 days. So you mix your sourdough starter and hopefully it's bubbling away. Now is a perfect time for you guys to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video in this series. I also want to say a big thank you to the community out there. We now reached 50 subscribers. Fantastic. Thank you guys. Now your sourdough starter will enter a phase where it will rise and collapse, and that is completely normal. That just means your sourdough is really active. Now we will enter a stabilizing phase of your sourdough starter. This time I will feed it with a mix of 50% white flour and 50% wholemeal flour. And we will do this 7 days in a row. That is to stabilize your sourdough and make it more predictable. And this time I use 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water, and of course the sourdough starter. So get into a routine for the next 7 days where you feed the sourdough starter with 2 tablespoons of sourdough starter and 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water. And the remaining of your sourdough starter you can either give it to a friend or you can discard it. After 7 days your sourdough starter should look something like this. And if you are interested in making a 100% rye bread, you could of course make a 100% rye sour, which looks a little bit different, but the principle is the same. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you managed to make your sourdough starter and get it to bubble like this one. And now is a good time for you to baptize your sourdough. I named mine Clint Eastwood because I'm a huge fan of Clint Eastwood. So let me know in the comment section below what you baptized your sourdough starter. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I will see you in the next video where we're gonna make some sourdough bread.